is the biggest diamond I've ever seen. Where did you get that? And the new owner of the farm said, oh, I got it right in my backyard. There's acres of them. I have acres of diamonds in my backyard. And the true story, that farm ended up being known as Kimberly Diamond Mine. And to think that he was sitting on acres of diamonds and he didn't even know it. And I'm going to tell you, you know what, folks? It's the same thing with marketing. I'm going to show you 4 areas that are so underutilized that you are sitting on acres of diamonds in your networks right now. In these 4 places that you're all very familiar with, what I'm going to be talking about, but you may not know exactly how to use it, and you may not know how to cultivate. Now, you can't attract new customers if they can't find you. And so my one tip for you is this: make sure you choose your keywords wisely. And what I mean by that is this. I write a lot of blog posts, right? And I wrote a recent one. I could have titled it Recruiting Tips. I could have titled it Hiring Tips, Hiring Advice. It's all the same. Well, it's not all the same to Google. You know, if you take a look here, when I run it through a keyword tool, that's free, by the way, there's a huge difference to Google. You know, Recruiting Tips comes up at 3,600 searches. What was better was Getting Help, and if I went with a title called How to Hire Good Employees, then that would have only brought in 58 searches. Big difference. So I'll give you another example. To me, I don't really care if you think of me as a small business marketing coach or marketing for small businesses. It's all the same, potato, potato. But it makes a big difference to Google. Take a look here when I run through the report. It's a difference between 3,600 searches or 18,000. And so my advice to you is choose your keywords wisely. The second tip would be then, if you want to attract, make sure your web pages are optimized. And I see this easy mistake happening all the time. I recently keynoted for a group of hotels and country clubs. And so I looked up the keyword Bucks County caterers. And it took me 25 pages on Google to find the venue that was right in my hometown. 25 pages. Why is that? Because look what they're optimizing for. $69.50. It doesn't take a keyword report tool to tell you, I don't think people are looking for a wedding venue, looking for searching $69.50. And so that's an example of web pages that aren't optimized. He's found online, you just got to get to 25 pages later, which you know most people don't do. I'll give you an example of my web pages that are optimized. And by the way, this is organic. You know, this isn't stuff that you needed to, or I needed to hire a professional SEO company for. There are some low-hanging, easy stuff that you can do organically to help you get on page 1. And you notice, you know, what do you think, what's the first thing you notice when you look at my particular link there? It's a video, okay? And so the video, just by sheer fact that it's a video, has helped me get #1 on the search term Business Coaches Philadelphia. Now, here's another page where I'm also, you notice on page 1, 3 of my web pages are on page 1. And because it's optimized for that keyword. And so I know it's being searched locally. So anyway, those are some quick tips. All right, so once you get the click, here's the thing, folks. The average person spends all of how many seconds on your website? Less than 8 seconds. So now that you attracted, got the attention, you have less than 8 seconds to engage. So tip number 3 would be make sure that you have a free offer that engages your prospect that landed on your website. All right, so now one of my free offers is the video training on how you can find your own wow factor. Now, there's lots of ideas that all of you could do. You know, Daryl is a printer. You know, as a printer, he could do a free offer, a webinar training on, you know, how to get the most ROI, direct results from your advertising. You know, Mike Loughran, as promotional products, you know, Mike could do a free offer, you know, 7 strategies for successful trade shows. You know, that makes total sense, but he can educate. And that's what we can all do, you can all do, is find a way to educate your prospects. So tip number 4 is educate your audience, and so I just gave you a couple of examples. All right, so now that you've attracted, you've engaged, you want to think about how you're going to convert. One of the easiest ways to convert would be to collect social proof. One of my clients is an Inc. 5000 winner. And they called me because they needed help because they were growing too fast, right? And what they did is they read my social proof. And in fact, they actually called one of my past clients who was in manufacturing, and they spoke to him. And so by the time they called me, they were already sold. My client, Tom, converted them for me. So when you have that social proof there, that certainly helps tremendously in converting clients. And so this freedom of what you can have, being your own boss, having your own business, that's why we sit and do a strategic plan.
Hi, my name is John Wasserman. I'm the Division Sales Manager, and I've been working in sales for 20 years now. I've had the opportunity to go to conferences all over the country, and one of my favorite speakers is Yoon Cannon. She has an ability to connect with her audience. She's been in sales, she's been in the trenches, she knows how to help people overcome all the challenges that come with sales. Sales can be a tough business. And I've seen her speak in instructional talks, but I've also seen her do motivational speeches, and I can tell you that not only does she connect with the audience, but because of her speeches, I know that for our own business, she's helped us increase revenues by over $1 million. So always one of my favorite speakers. I highly recommend Yoon Cannon.
I just spent time with Yoon Cannon, and she is nothing but energy. She lets her audience absorb that energy and just gets us all fired up so that we can go back to our businesses and take immediate action. So thank you, Yoon.
Nice and loud, Yoon. So you are here to hear who? Who did you hear in the morning? Yoon. Yes, yes.